back to my YouTube channel. Today I'll be showing you a little bit of a tutorial on how to start and end threads. So there are different ways to start and end threads. I mean, I'm going to show you the ones that I usually use, but obviously it's down to you what way you prefer. So I think it's a good thing probably just to start off with the loop method, which is my least preferred way of starting a thread. But it can, you might feel like it's the easiest way for you as well. So the first thing is to get, in this case, let's say you're using a one strand, so one thread, yeah? So you need to join the two ends of the thread together. So it kind of just makes, I'm going to show you here, a loop at the end, yeah? So then you proceed to thread your thread it through the needle. So I'm just going to show you how I'm going to do this. Let's see if I'm able to do this without a needle threader, hopefully. Yes. Okay, so you thread your needle like that. Okay. Then we do a half stitch. So by half stitch, it means we're not doing a full cross stitch, but just one line from one corner, shall we say, to the next. Yeah. So it could be any corner of the 4 squares that we have here. So it could be any corner at all. So yeah. So I'm starting from the back of the thread, of the Aida. Actually, I'll do this on the middle so it's kind of easier for you guys. So yeah, that way, yeah. So let's thread this through, and just checking where my thread is. And then we do the half stitch. So it's just, yeah, a diagonal kind of stitch. Yeah. So, yeah. So then you don't have to pull the thread completely. And as you can see, we've got a little loop here. So what you do is you go through the loop on there, inside the loop, and then you pull. You pull, 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 pull. Yeah? And that makes it a lot neater in the sense that, you have a less messy side to it. And then what you do is you just thread your needle in the other in the other hole, as you normally would, to finish your cross, so to do a full cross. Yeah, and that's done. Oops, again over here. See, so that's a full cross now. Now there's no loop now because we've done the loop already. So that's how we started the thread. So we can now continue our crosses as we normally would. So I'll show you again, just so that you have more of a chance to practice as well. Oopsie. Oh, and also, sorry, before I show you this again, how, to end the thread. Now, there is only one way, I think, for me, that I end my threads, and which is, I wouldn't normally just cut the thread here if I finished the cross, the cross. So what I do is I just thread it, like, so I thread it. Oopsie. Yeah, I thread it under my other thread here. So I basically just, sorry. Yeah, so I basically just thread the end by pushing it through my other threads. And then here you could just cut the thread because you've done, that's a way you can end it. What this means is when you thread it under other threads, it won't get loose, and it won't, the cross won't move around. It will stay in the exact spot where you've left it, which is good. And it prevents you from having threads sticking out, and yeah, it kind of makes it tighter in a sense. So yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you this again. It does take a little bit of time to get used to it. I mean, initially, I have to say, when I first started cross stitch, I wasn't good at the loop method at all. I actually found it the most complicated method for me. So I would just, it would become like too much of a hassle for me. So yeah, I didn't use that initially. And it's only recently that I started using it again, because I just felt like I wanted to try a different way to, start my threads. So let's see, I'm gonna do my one now here. Oopsie. Okie dokie. Okay. So let's start this other thread, yeah? Again, you're going to use one strand. So one strand is basically one thread, yeah? So that's one thread here. And then what we do is we join the ends of the threads, yeah, the two ends of the thread. We join them to form a small loop at the end, a small loop, yeah? And then we thread our needle through. Let's thread this in. Should be easier with one strand. It's not going in. Okay, let's try this again, if I'm able to just put the two threads together. It's just taking a little bit longer. Yay, done this. So yeah. Okay, so now we've threaded our needle. As you can see, there's a loop at the end again. So what we do is, again, we pick whatever, you know, corner of the cross, or of the cross we want to do. So let's say I've picked the bottom right corner, which is usually the one I start with. And then and then I thread this. So what I do is if you check the back, you want to just make sure that the loop is there still. And then what you do is you just do a half stitch. So from the bottom right hand corner to the top left hand corner, then you thread this again, and that's good. Then what you do is at the back, you see there's a hoop again, the loop. So what you do is you just go through the loop here. You just go through the loop and you pull, yeah? So you pull, pull, pull. Yay, that's done. So then we have our little half stitch here. And then you can finish, the cross again, the top right hand corner to the bottom left hand corner. And that's done. That's our second one. So yeah, this is the loop method, which is one of the methods that you can choose. The more you do it, the easier it becomes, and the less difficult it becomes. So as the old saying goes, practice makes perfect. Oh, I was about to do something I shouldn't have done. It is, pushing the thread again under the other threads. So yeah, we just push this through, oopsie, and then pull, and then we can cut off the thread. And as you can see, it's a lot neater in that sense, yeah? So yeah. Now let's do my way of starting the thread, which has no loop method in it at all. And I find it's the quicker way to start things, in a sense. But I usually use 2 strands. So I don't use 1 strand, it's always 2 strands. And it's quite easy, so it's nothing super complex. So I'm gonna thread my needle, probably make this a lot quicker. So when I thread the needle, I just put the needle in there, I push the thread inside the little space there, and then I push through my needle, it goes there. So now with this way that I start, you normally just make sure that the threads are basically the same length. So it has to be the same length, so that I have enough thread, in a sense, to do my cross. So yeah, I'll probably just do this here, so it's less, or actually no, that should be fine. So what I do is I start from the bottom, like from the back always, and then I just pull my thread, and you can see the back, there's no loop here, yeah? So that's how I do it. I basically don't pull my thread to the end. I just basically just leave it until it's nearly finished, and then I loops, and then I just thread this in like that. And again, I just do my normal cross stitch, you know, so there's no loop, so I can just thread it in like that. And yeah, I think it makes it a lot quicker compared to when you do the loop. Now you can probably see, I guess, it's not much of a difference compared to the ones that we did up here. I guess these are a lot smaller because it's just one thread, and this is 2 threads. So yeah, when I then end the stitch over here, again, it's the same thing. I just thread it through. I thread this through my other ones, and I just pull, and that's done. I sometimes need to thread it through twice just to make it a lot tighter, so that can be done as well. Yeah, and that's done. We've done those 3 ones. Now, so just a few tips just that I think are just really important is just to make sure that there, you know, there's easy tension on your stitches. So it's really important not to pull them super tight, because they can you know, they can ruin the fabric, or they can make them loose, or so the important thing is that the stitches always lie flat on the fabric. So that's one thing that I would recommend. And also one thing that I always say, let's say you're doing a project where you're doing different colors, or you know, and you need to jump, especially if you're doing cross-country cross stitch, you know, you need to jump from one place to the other. I would normally say, you know, just cut off the thread here and then start your thread somewhere else on the fabric, you know, especially if it's a long way away. You don't want to basically just, you know, not cut the fabric and jump, you know, because if you jump over here, you can see, yeah, this would mean that your fabric, I can show you, yeah, if you jump over here, you can see there's not much thread left, and you would end, you know, your back would have this really long thread over here, which is, I mean, it's just not, it can create issues on the back of your fabric. So, and also it's a waste of thread as well, because as you basically wasted a lot of thread jumping from one side to the other. So what I would normally recommend is just to finish your thread. So just, you know, cut your thread here and jump to the other side. And yeah, that's basically it, really. If you have any questions, or you would like to give me any other tips, or you know, share any tips with any other cross stitches that might come across my video, then please feel free to do so. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I wish you well on your cross stitch journey. And yeah, goodbye.